welcome back to another video. So it has been requested time and time again that I color again with the Crayola colored pencils. Y'all want to see another color combination, and y'all just want to see it all come together and pop off the page. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to color another butterfly because that seems to be very popular here on my channel, and y'all love those videos. So I've chosen my color combinations. I've chosen a butterfly in this wonderful book by Maria Trolle. This is Nightfall. This is the book that I always do these tutorials in. So we are going to color another butterfly today, and I'm going to share my color combination. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I choose my colors before I lay any of the colors down on my coloring page, because that is so important. We're going to talk a little bit about highlights and shading and shadows and all of that in this video. And towards the end of the video, after I have all the colors laid down on the butterfly, I am going to show you what happens when you come back and you add just that one extra color and make that object on your coloring page totally pop. If you check the description box down below, I'll have everything that you see in this video linked down there so that you could easily find it. We'll also have links for my Facebook group, my email list, my Etsy shop, and my Patreon if you would like to support me there. I've chosen a butterfly. We're going to color this one, and this is going to be a really fun video. I came up with an idea for this butterfly before I started filming. Those of you that are not familiar with the 120 set of Crayolas, this is my swatch chart here. And you can see by looking at this, there are some beautiful, bright, vibrant colors here. Look at this outrageous orange. We've got this fiery rose, sizzling sunset, heat wave. If you come down here to the greens, you've got Arctic lime, screaming green, spring frost. There are just so many beautiful colors in this set, and there are colors in this set that are unique to this set specifically that you're not going to find in other sets, and that's one reason why I love the Crayolas so much. Look at this lemon glacier. Is that not beautiful? I think I used that lemon glacier, I think it was that color, in my last Crayola tutorial. I will link that video up in the upper right hand corner if you've not already seen that one, but we did that one with lots of greens and blues and a bright vibrant yellow. It was gorgeous, and it literally just popped off the page. And the one that I did before that, I used this atomic tangerine and possibly the fiery rose, or maybe the outrageous orange. I don't remember exactly, but that butterfly as well just literally popped off the page, and it was beautiful. So if you would like to see those videos, I'll make sure they're linked up in the upper right hand corner. Today again, we are going to use one of the unique colors in this set, and today I've chosen the fiery rose, so that's this one here. I'm going to show you the other colors that we're going to start with. This is the magenta, and the magenta is right here. These two look beautiful together, and you'll see that as soon as we start coloring. And then I wanted to add a pop of purple in here, so I have the purple heart. The purple heart is right down here. And we're really putting these colored pencils to the test today because we're mixing together some colors that are pretty far apart from each other on the color wheel. I've got this purple heart and then this fiery rose, and they are very different from one another. So we are going to test that out and see what happens. So when you're choosing your colors, you just want to make sure that you have a color that is very bright and really going to stand out. So that's what I did with my fiery rose. That's why I chose that one. And then I wanted something that was going to look really pretty with that fiery rose, but was quite a bit darker. And so that's where I picked up the magenta. And of course, I took a scrap sheet of paper and I blended these two together to see how they would look before I even tried them on a coloring page, because I did test this out before I came and did this video. So this is just a tester sheet, and you can see that I test out a lot of different colors. So here is where I was putting some of those colors together and testing out different colors. I believe I even tried the atomic tangerine, but I really didn't want to use that color because I did use that in a previous tutorial. So you could see here where I used the fiery rose and then the magenta, and then I was trying out different shades of purple to see which one looked best. So I decided to add the purple because I wanted a little bit of contrast, and because I really wanted to test out these pencils and see what they can do. And I also wanted to be able to show y'all that you don't have to be afraid to pick up a very budget set of pencils. These pencils are always between $20 and $25 on Amazon for 120 colors, so you really can't go wrong with these. You want to make sure that you have really sharp leads on your Crayolas. So I'm going to go ahead and sharpen these. And if you're wondering which pencil sharpener I'm using, I am using my Jar Link. This is my new absolute favorite pencil sharpener. I do always leave it on 3. I find that this is the perfect setting to where it doesn't eat away my pencils, especially my Prismacolors, but I absolutely love this, and I always have it linked in the description box below so that you can easily find that. And here is the lead that the Jar Link puts on my pencils. It's beautiful, it's sharp, and it gets into those tiny little small places, which is really what you want when you're coloring. Because if you look at this butterfly, there are little tiny spaces in here, little tiny spaces in here where the lines meet, and you want to be able to get into all of those spaces, especially when you're coming back with your darker colors. I'm going to go ahead and color this side of the butterfly first. After I color just this one side and do a full and complete tutorial, I am going to set it to music so that you can watch the other side all come together really, really quickly. And a lot of times those are really fun to watch because you just see it go from nothing to just completely jumping off of the page. When I'm editing, I love going back and just watching that and watching it from start to finish as it just comes together and pops off the page. It just looks like magic. Okay, so I've got that color all laid down. That's my highlight color. And I'm going to come back with the magenta, and I'm going to start placing this color just in certain parts of the wing of the butterfly, just to add a little bit of contrast. And I'm going fairly lightly. I don't want to add a whole lot of pressure with these pencils. And the whole purpose of this is just so that I can get the colors laid down where I want them. And if I lay a color where I don't feel like it looks good, it gives me the ability to be able to come back and use an eraser and pull the color back up. But if you're pushing too hard, you will definitely not be able to take the color up as well as you could if you were just using much lighter pressure. So I'm staying out of all of those areas where I laid that highlight color, the fiery rose. And I have one more color to come back with. So I'm going to use that color, and I'm going to actually lay that color right over this color. And you can see when I come back and I lay another very light layer, the color is laying down very nicely onto the paper and it is getting darker. See how it's darkening up when I come back and just add another layer right over the first layer? And I'm blending it right into that beautiful fiery rose color. But look how gorgeous these colors are together. If you have a color combination workbook that you keep where you keep track of all your color combos, make sure you add this one in there under your Crayolas. I have lots of color combination videos on my channel. So if you're looking for color combinations, check out some of those videos. I'll go ahead and link the playlist in the upper right hand corner. Now I'm going to come in with the purple heart, and I'm going to go over the magenta and just lay this color wherever I think it'll look pretty. And I'm blending it into those other colors. But look at the contrast that adds. Isn't that so pretty? When I put these colors together and I tested them out, I was just blown away. They look so pretty together. I'm still using fairly light pressure because I don't want to get rid of all of the tooth of the paper, because once you do that, you cannot lay down any more color. And my only hope with all these Crayola videos is that it shows you that you don't need to go out and buy a really expensive colored pencil set. Yes, they are very nice to have and they are a lot of fun, but so are a lot of these more budget sets. They are a lot of fun to play with, and putting together color combinations is actually one of my favorite things to do. So you can see that the color is starting to get laid down here, and it is all still very, very light. We have probably, what, 3, maybe 4 layers down there now, and I'm gonna come back with my fiery rose, and I'm going to brighten up some of those areas where I had that color by just adding another very light layer. But if you add enough layers of these brighter colors, they will really brighten up. And they are just gorgeous. If you don't purchase this Crayola set for any other reason than it has very unique colors in it, that is reason enough just to grab this set off of Amazon. It looks like a lot of the magenta has been hidden a little bit by the other colors, so I'm going to come back in here and add a little bit more of that contrast by adding some more of the magenta. And I'm also going to start to blend some of these colors together, and I am going over that shade of purple that I had added. But this color too, it's a darker color, but it has a lot of pop to it. And with the contrast of these colors together, it's just like, oh my gosh. So pretty. And as far as the little dots go, these little dots here, I'm going to come back and add some bling to those a little bit later in the video. So I'm not really worried if I go over those. Look how by just adding another light layer of this color, it just really intensifies that color and adds such a huge contrast. And if I apply a little bit more pressure, it really lays that color down there. And it's all about just coming back and alternating your colors. I'm going to come back now with my next color, which was the Purple Heart, and I'm going to lay another layer of this color, and we're really starting to pack those layers down there now. Look at the difference as the color just starts to get added layer after layer, and I'm blending all of these colors into one another. And like I said earlier, this is not my last color. I will be coming back with another color, and that color is going to be used to add all that extra depth and dimension. I'm going to come in with Indigo. This is one of my other very favorite colors in a lot of sets. This is my favorite color in the Prismacolor set to add really drastic shadows, and I love using this color when I am using my Crayolas as well, because I find that this color really makes the other colors stand out. If you're using other blues, like much lighter blues, or if you're using purples, always go back and use this Indigo because it's very dark. It lays down very nicely on the paper, and it goes right over those other colors, and you're going to see that now. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start adding this color, and you can watch it just sort of pop off the page. And when I do the speed through where I do all of this together, it will look like magic. But we've got purple, and we've got blue, and we have pink, and we've got that like peachy, orangey pink. Look at the difference. And I'm just doing this mainly like in the corners. And then I'm going to come back and go over some of these lines, because by going over those lines, that is what gives it all that extra depth and dimension. It sort of covers up the line art, and it really just makes it pop. And I probably could have done this with a much darker purple as well, but I decided to go with the Indigo. We're going to turn it this way so I could get in here with this color. And I did sharpen this so that I could get into these little teeny tiny spaces. But right here, I just want to sort of line over that line art. And when you're doing this, you need a really sharp pencil because you don't want to go out of the line. And if you find that your tip of your pencil dulls just a little bit, because it will dull pretty fast, you want it to be very sharp when you're doing this. So if you find that it dulls, go ahead and just give it a quick sharpen. But look at the difference, how that just adds all that extra depth and dimension. And then of course I'm going to come back and I'm going to blend that out just a little bit with the other colors. Okay, so I have the Purple Heart because the Purple Heart is going to blend into this darker color the nicest, just because one is blue and one is purple. So I'm going to pull some of these colors together, and I am going to come back again one more time with the Magenta because I feel like I need to add a little bit more of that color for the contrast. But try not to apply too much pressure until you're pretty sure about where all your colors are laid down and that they're in the places you want them, and that you don't have to come back and erase anything. So I'm just coming back in here and I'm blending some of the color out in these areas as well. And I think I am going to come back with the Magenta one more time. And then I'm going to use this color to also pull some of these other colors through, and of course add more of that contrast in there. And I'm going to come back one last time with my Fiery Rose as well, because I really want that highlight to pop, because that's what makes all the difference. So I have my Fiery Rose, and I'm really going to make this pop now by adding quite a bit more of that color in there. So this is just adding another layer, and look how it just brightens that up. Always make sure you're turning your book so that you can get the angle that you need when you're coloring, so that way it doesn't sort of feel awkward. So this side is done, at least for now, and I'm going to come back and do the other side. And I'm going to speed that up to music so y'all can just watch it all come together. Sit back and enjoy, because it does look really cool when you watch it go from just the line art and nothing being there to adding all of the color, all of the layers, the contrast, the shadows, and everything else all the way to the end. It's like magic, and you could see it just literally lift up off the page. need to come back and do the center really quick. I'm going to use the same colors. I want right in the center to really, really pop. And so I'm going to add a layer of that color there. That was my Fiery Rose. And then I'm going to come over here and just sort of blend in the magenta. And then I'm just going to come right in and use the Indigo and really make this pop. I'm not even going to grab the other color I had because we really don't need it. This is going to give us all the depth and dimension that we need for the center part. And then let me just intensify that highlight color and then blend it out just a little. And then we need to do the antennas. So I think I'm gonna use the magenta here. And then just to make them stand out, I'll come in with my Indigo so that they could pop a bit. Okay, y'all, I pulled out all my stickles. Look at all these fabulous colors. I don't think that I'm gonna go with a color today, because a lot of these colors in here, I don't think they would look good with what we have going on over here. And the colors like this, like the mermaid tail, I don't think that'll really show up all that well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use just straight silver, something I don't normally do on my coloring pages. The Stardust probably would have looked pretty as well because that would just add like a twinkle. But I think this would stand out a lot more. So we're gonna go ahead and use the silver. Go ahead, and the only thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna add a little to the top of the antennas, and of course to these little decorative dots right here. So we don't have very much to apply glitter to. But yeah, I think the silver was a good choice. And if y'all want to purchase stickles, I always have the link down in the description box. That's too much. See, with the stickles, if you lay down too much or you don't like a color or the way that it looks, you can always pull it right up. So let's try again. I don't want to get too much on the tip because I want to be able to just dab it. And I want the glitter to go down there, but it looks like this one is sort of dried up. I think this is an older tube, but it's working. There we go. I think this silver was definitely a good choice. It's just hard to get this down here without it looking clumpy because the dots are so tiny. So when you're doing something like this, you don't want to put a whole lot on the tip of your stickles. I'm going to add just a little bit to the antenna here, and then here I can drag it. So that works a little bit better. So our butterfly's done. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about highlights, shadows, and shading. You saw there at the end we were able to come back with that darkest color and really make it pop. Color combinations and the way you put your colors together, they're so important. You really need a color that's very, very dark, a color that is sort of in the middle, but a very big difference in the value of those two colors, and then the same between the mid-tone and your lightest color, especially if you're only using 3 colors. And that's what gives the object on your coloring page, no matter what you're coloring, the ability to really pop and stand out, and it gives you the ability to create a whole lot of extra depth and dimension and make it look sort of 3D. And in this case, I had 2 different midtones because I wanted 2 colors that were going to be contrasting from one another. And I wanted to be able to have that little extra bit of contrast. It also allowed me to bring the indigo in at the end and create that transition between that color and the other colors by using the purple heart. Everything you've seen in this video, I will have linked in the description box below so that you can easily find it. If you're looking for stickles, I always have the link down there where you can find the best deal on stickles. And if you want some very different, unique colors, the Crayolas are where it's at. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.